Have you ever had that moment when your personal and professional lives collide in the most unexpected way? That's exactly what happened to me last month, and trust me, the decision I made changed everything. If you're navigating the complicated waters of workplace relationships or single parenthood, stick around. This story might just help you avoid the mistakes I almost made. Hit that like button if you've ever faced an impossible choice, and subscribe for more real-life stories that might save you from learning things the hard way. It was a regular Tuesday evening when my phone lit up with that familiar notification sound. Another match on Date Meet, the app I'd reluctantly downloaded after 3 years of being single. 3 years of putting my daughter Lily first. 3 years of convincing myself I didn't have time for dating. "Dad, are you on your phone again?" Lily asked, her small hands working diligently on her science project, a solar system made of styrofoam balls that was due tomorrow. At 8 years old, she had her mother's eyes and my stubborn determination. "Just checking something quickly, sweetheart," I replied, glancing down at my screen. My heart stopped. There she was, Katherine Reynolds, my direct supervisor at Reynolds and Associates accounting firm. The woman who had hired me 6 months ago. The woman who determined my performance reviews, my raises, my entire professional future. And apparently, the woman who had just swiped right on me. I stared at her profile picture. It wasn't the polished, professional Katherine I knew from the office, with her tailored suits and perfect bun. This Katherine had her dark hair loose around her shoulders, was laughing on a beach somewhere, looking carefree and beautiful. Before I could process what was happening, a message appeared. "Well, this is unexpected." "Small world, huh, James?" My fingers hovered over the keyboard. What was the protocol here? Was there even a protocol for matching with your boss on a dating app? "Very small," I typed back, adding a neutral smiley face that I immediately regretted. "I had no idea you were on Date Meet," she wrote. "Though I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You mentioned being single at the company picnic." I remembered that conversation. It had been casual, just office small talk while we waited in line for hamburgers. I'd mentioned being a single dad almost as a reflex when she asked if I had plans for the summer. I hadn't thought she was actually listening. "Yeah, my sister convinced me to try it," I replied. "Said I needed to get back out there." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, then appeared again. I waited, suddenly aware that Lily was watching me curiously. "Dad, your face is doing that thing where you look worried but trying not to look worried," she said, tilting her head. "Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine, Lil," I assured her, just as Katherine's message came through. "Listen, this might be completely inappropriate, but would you want to grab dinner Friday night? There's this new Italian place downtown I've been wanting to try." My stomach dropped. 5 minutes into matching with my boss, and she was asking me out. The professional in me knew immediately what the answer should be. The single man who hadn't been on a proper date in 3 years wasn't so sure. "Dad, Neptune keeps falling off," Lily complained, holding up the blue planet that refused to stay glued to its wire. "Here, let me help," I said, grateful for the distraction. As I held the planet in place, waiting for the glue to set, I thought about Katherine's invitation. Katherine was smart, successful, and undeniably attractive. Under different circumstances, I would have said yes without hesitation. But she was my boss. The power dynamic was all wrong. And then there was Lily, my priority, my responsibility, my whole world since her mother walked out on us when she was 5. "All fixed," I told Lily, handing back the now secure Neptune. "Why don't you finish up while I make us some dinner?" In the kitchen, I stared at my phone. Katherine was still waiting for an answer. I took a deep breath and typed. "Katherine, I'm flattered, really. But I don't think it would be a good idea for us to date, given our professional relationship. I hope you understand." I hit send before I could change my mind. Then I put my phone face down on the counter and started pulling ingredients from the refrigerator for Lily's favorite pasta. My phone buzzed almost immediately. I hesitated before checking it. I completely understand, James. Professional boundaries are important. See you tomorrow at the office. Her response was perfect, professional, understanding, no hint of awkwardness. So why did I feel a twinge of regret? The next morning, I dropped Lily off at school, solar system project safely delivered, and headed to the office with a knot in my stomach. Would things be weird between Katherine and me now? Had I jeopardized my position at the firm? I needn't have worried. When I passed Katherine in the hallway, she gave me the same polite nod she always did. In our department meeting, she was the consummate professional. If anything, she seemed to go out of her way to treat me exactly as she had before. It should have been a relief. Instead, I found myself watching her more closely than usual. The way she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was concentrating. How she always had a kind word for the interns. The slight accent that came out when she was excited about a new project. Earth to James, my colleague Marcus said, waving a hand in front of my face. Meeting's over, man. You coming to lunch? Sorry, just thinking about the Peterson account, I lied, gathering my notes. Sure you were, Marcus smirked. Nothing to do with the way you were staring at Reynolds the whole meeting. I wasn't staring, I protested, but even I didn't believe me. The week continued normally on the surface. Katherine and I maintained our professional relationship. We discussed clients, deadlines, strategies. But there was an undercurrent now, an awareness that hadn't been there before. Sometimes I'd catch her looking at me when she thought I wasn't paying attention. Sometimes she'd catch me doing the same. Friday came, and I couldn't help wondering about that Italian restaurant she'd mentioned. Was she there now, with someone else? The thought bothered me more than it should have. Dad, can we have pizza and watch a movie? Lily asked as I picked her up from her after-school program. Friday was our special night, just the two of us, usually with takeout and a film of Lily's choosing. Absolutely, I said, pushing thoughts of Katherine aside. What movie are we thinking tonight? The one with the dragons. Lily exclaimed, buckling herself into the back seat. As we sat on our worn couch later, pizza box open on the coffee table, Lily curled against my side, I knew I'd made the right decision. These moments with my daughter, this was what mattered most. But after Lily went to bed, I found myself back on date meet, staring at Katherine's profile. I hadn't unmatched her, and neither had she unmatched me. Her profile was still there, that beach photo smiling up at me. On Monday, Katherine called me into her office. My heart raced as I took a seat across from her desk. James, I wanted to discuss the Harrington project with you, she began, all business. I think you'd be perfect to lead it. Me? I was genuinely surprised. The Harrington account was one of our biggest clients. Leading the project would mean a significant step up in responsibility, and potentially, a raise. You've shown excellent judgment and integrity, she continued, her eyes meeting mine briefly before returning to the file in front of her. Qualities that are essential for this particular client. Was she referring to my decision to turn down her dinner invitation? I couldn't tell. Thank you for the opportunity, I said. I won't let you down. I know you won't, she replied with a small smile. The team briefing is Wednesday morning. I've already emailed you the preliminary files. As I stood to leave, she added, and James? I meant what I said about your judgment. It's refreshing. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into the Harrington project. It was challenging work, but I loved it. Katherine and I settled into a new rhythm, professional, respectful, with occasional moments of warmth that never crossed any lines. One evening, I was working late at the office, trying to finalize the Harrington presentation. Lily was at a sleepover, giving me rare extra hours to focus. I didn't realize Katherine was still there until she appeared in my doorway. "You're burning the midnight oil," she observed, leaning against the doorframe. She'd taken off her blazer, and her silk blouse caught the dim light of my desk lamp. "Just want to make sure everything's perfect for tomorrow," I said, rubbing my tired eyes. "It will be," she assured me. "You've done excellent work on this, James." She hesitated, then added, "I'm about to order some dinner. Would you like to join me?" "Strictly professional, of course. We can go over any last-minute concerns you have about the presentation." I should have said no. It was the same answer I'd given before, and for all the same reasons. But it was late, I was hungry, and the invitation seemed innocent enough. "Sure," I heard myself say. "That would be helpful." We ended up in the conference room with Chinese takeout spread between us, the Harrington files temporarily forgotten as our conversation drifted from work to more personal topics. "So how did you end up in accounting?" Katherine asked, expertly wielding her chopsticks. "You don't strike me as someone who dreamed of spreadsheets as a child." I laughed. "No, definitely not. I actually wanted to be a marine biologist." "What happened?" "Life," I shrugged. "I met Lily's mother in college. When she got pregnant, I needed something more stable, more immediate. Turns out I had a knack for numbers." Katherine nodded thoughtfully. "And Lily's mother?" "If you don't mind me asking." "She left when Lily was 5, I said, the familiar ache dulled by time but never completely gone. "Said she wasn't cut out for motherhood, for family life. Last I heard, she was teaching English in Thailand." "I'm sorry," Katherine said softly. "That must have been difficult for both of you." "It was. Still is, sometimes. But Lily's resilient, and we've built a good life together." I hesitated, then asked, "What about you? How did you end up running an accounting firm at 35? She smiled wryly. "Family business. My father started Reynolds and Associates 30 years ago. I was practically raised on tax codes and audit procedures." "Did you ever want to do something else?" "Photography," she admitted, surprising me. "That's my real passion. I travel whenever I can, take pictures of everything. I've even sold a few to magazines." "The beach photo," I said without thinking. "On your profile. You took that yourself?" A slight blush colored her cheeks. "Self-timer. That was in Bali last year, my first solo vacation in ages." We talked for hours, long after the food was gone. I learned that Katherine had been engaged once, to her college sweetheart, but he'd cheated on her with her best friend. That she had a golden retriever named Einstein who went to doggy daycare while she worked. That despite her confident exterior, she sometimes felt like an imposter running her father's company. In turn, I told her about raising Lily alone, about our Friday movie nights, about how terrified I was of the teenage years looming on the horizon. I told her things I hadn't told anyone, not even Marcus, who I considered a friend. It was nearly midnight when we finally packed up to leave. "Thank you for staying," Katherine said as we walked to the parking garage. "This was nice." It was, I agreed, feeling a connection to her I hadn't expected. We reached her car first, a sleek silver Audi. She turned to face me, and for a moment, I thought she might lean in, might cross the line we'd so carefully maintained. Part of me wanted her to. Instead, she smiled and said, "Good night, James. I'll see you tomorrow for the presentation." "Good night, Katherine," I replied, watching as she drove away, wondering if I'd just made things more complicated or if I was overthinking everything. The Harrington presentation went perfectly. The client was impressed, the partners were pleased, and Katherine gave me a subtle thumbs up from across the conference table that made me feel ridiculously proud. That evening, as I was helping Lily with her homework, my phone buzzed with a date meet notification. Katherine had sent me a message. "Congratulations on today. You were brilliant. I was thinking, would you and Lily like to join Einstein and me at the dog park this Saturday? No pressure, and completely understanding if it's not appropriate. I stared at the message, conflicted. This wasn't a date. It was a casual invitation that included my daughter. But it was definitely personal, definitely crossing from professional into something else. Dad, what's 4 times 7? Lily asked, pencil poised over her math worksheet. 28, I answered automatically. Lily, how would you feel about going to the dog park this weekend? My friend from work has a golden retriever. Lily's eyes lit up. A dog? Can I pet it? Does it do tricks? What's its name? His name is Einstein, and I'm not sure about tricks, I said, smiling at her enthusiasm. So that's a yes. Yes, 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 she bounced in her chair. I picked up my phone and typed, Einstein has 2 new fans eager to meet him. What time on Saturday? Saturday dawned bright and clear. Lily was up early, too excited about meeting Einstein to sleep in. We arrived at the dog park 10 minutes early, but Katherine was already there, dressed casually in jeans and a light sweater, looking nothing like my boss and everything like the woman from the beach photo. Einstein lived up to Lily's expectations, performing an impressive repertoire of tricks for the treats Katherine had brought. Lily was enchanted, and I found myself equally captivated by the sight of Katherine laughing as Einstein rolled over dramatically. He's the best dog ever, Lily declared, scratching behind Einstein's ears. Dad, can we get a dog? That's a conversation for another time, I said, giving Katherine an apologetic smile. Dogs are a big responsibility, Katherine agreed diplomatically. Einstein goes to daycare while I'm at work, and he has a dog walker who comes at lunch. See, Dad? We could make it work, Lily argued, already forming her campaign strategy. After the dog park, Katherine suggested ice cream, and I couldn't find a reason to say no. As we sat at a picnic table, Lily chattering away about her school's upcoming science fair, I realized I was enjoying myself more than I had in years. Your daughter is wonderful, Katherine said quietly while Lily was distracted by a nearby butterfly. You've done an amazing job with her. Thank you, I said, genuinely touched. She's the best thing in my life. Katherine nodded, understanding in her eyes. As she should be. That evening, after Lily was in bed, I messaged Katherine, thank you for today. Lily hasn't stopped talking about Einstein. The feeling is mutual, she replied. Einstein is exhausted from all the attention. I had a really nice time, James. So did I admitted. Can I ask you something, she wrote after a pause. That night on date meet, when you said no to dinner, was it really just because I'm your boss? I considered my answer carefully. Partly. The professional boundaries are important. But it was also about Lily. Dating as a single parent is complicated. She has to come first, always. I respect that, Katherine replied. And I respect you for it. For what it's worth, I think you made the right call that night. But? I sensed there was more. But I still find myself thinking about you. Not as an employee. As the man who puts his daughter first, who works harder than anyone at the firm, who has kind eyes and a smile that makes me forget I'm supposed to be the boss. My heart raced as I read her words. Katherine. I know. It's complicated. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know. I sat in my darkened living room, staring at my phone, at a crossroads. The professional in me knew I should end this conversation, should keep things strictly business with Katherine. The father in me knew that introducing someone new into Lily's life was a risk, one I hadn't been willing to take for 3 years. But the man in me, the part that had been lonely for so long, wanted to take a chance. What if, I typed slowly, we found a way to make it less complicated? I'm listening, she replied. What if I transferred to another department? Finance has been trying to recruit me for months. You'd do that? For a chance to see where this might go? Yes, I think I would. And Lily? We take it slow. Very slow. She already likes